Let me ask y'all something. How is it legal that Congress can buy up a bunch of Meta stock, then directly vote on a bill that affects the outcome of the stock they purchased, which is driving it up and getting rid of the competition? How is that legal? Because if that's the case, LeBron should be able to bet on FanDuel, I'm getting 30 points tonight. And he go out there and get 35, and he put 500,000 on himself. How is that any different?
Set to take effect Sunday, the justices have just handed down their decision on this controversial law, a decision that affects some 170 million Americans who currently use the app.
So the court has upheld the ban. So TikTok will not be allowed in the United States. These fines would go into place. But Joe Biden, the president, has said that for the one day that this would be effective before he leaves office as president of the United States, that he is not going to enforce that. So the law itself has been upheld. This is a major blow for TikTok. And overall, it will be removed. The App Store will have to remove the app. The app will no longer update to existing accounts. And essentially it will become defunct within a matter of months if enforced. But Donald Trump, of course, he has expressed some support for TikTok. In fact, one of the chief executives is coming to Trump's inauguration, and he has asked, he had an unusual filing before he actually became president to sort of give him room to make an ultimate decision on how this will play out going forward. Here's a quote that we have from the Supreme Court ruling: "There is no doubt that for more than 170 million Americans, TikTok offers a distinctive and expansive outlet for expression, means of engagement, and source of community. But Congress has determined that disinvestiture is necessary to address its well-supported national security concerns regarding TikTok's data collection practices and relationship with a foreign adversary, meaning China. For the foregoing reasons, we conclude that the challenge provisions do not violate petitioners' First Amendment rights." And they said that the judgment of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit has been affirmed. It is so ordered. So that is a major blow for TikTok, and obviously its fans across.
As of today, TikTok is back. Frankly, we have no choice. We have to save it. A lot of jobs. We don't want to give our business to China. We don't want to give our business to other people. So I said very simply, a joint venture. I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States.
We had seen in a statement earlier to
stop talking about this ban. Now that TikTok is back, we can all stop talking about it, stop making videos on it, and start focusing on what is happening around us. Mass deportations are about to start. I was at lunch yesterday with a friend who works at a center where, you know, there are some people who are undocumented, and we're talking about New York City, okay? And they're already warning people to not come in because of mass deportations. Already.
The TikTok situation reminds me of times as a kid when I would get my phone taken away from my mom or maybe my stepdad because they caught me talking badly about them to my friends. But then they would give me my phone back because it would benefit them in some way, shape, or form. Like the time when my stepdad was cheating on my mom and they had separated because he chose the younger girl over my mom. And she decided to let me have my Facebook because it meant that she could stalk the other woman through my account. If you can relate to that at all and you're feeling emotionally exhausted from this entire thing, just know that you're totally not alone, and that the reason probably so many of us are feeling so emotionally exhausted from this is because we've gone through it our entire lives living in toxic, abusive family systems, where our abusers would take things away as punishment and then immediately give them back. But really the entire thing was an emotional manipulation tactic to get us to see them in a better light than what they really are. And I could be totally wrong, but I really do feel like that's why so many of us are struggling with this so much, because it feels so similar to how we grew up as kids. It's like, can you please just make a decision? Either let me have it or don't. Don't tell me I can have it under these certain conditions that keep changing and I can't keep up with what the conditions are. I can't keep up with what the rules are. Just either let me have it or don't. And
we have big news in the TikTok ban update right now. For the first time ever, China has suggested that it's willing to work with Donald Trump to keep TikTok operations here in the United States. The official announcement came from the Chinese Foreign Ministry that said earlier today on Monday that companies can make their own decisions on operations and acquisitions. This, I need to add, is a complete reversal from what was originally announced last year, which was that they were not going to sell ByteDance or any part of TikTok ever. So why is this change happening, and what are we expecting to happen? Well, we know that yesterday, J.D. Vance met with the vice president of China, and on top of that, Elon Musk, for that matter. While at the same time, Donald Trump announced a potential 50-50 split joint venture between a U.S. company and ByteDance. We don't know for sure exactly what was said during yesterday's meeting and or what Donald Trump is going to be doing about it, except for what he announced online. But clearly, ByteDance does like what Donald Trump is saying, since right after his tweet, TikTok went right back online. Granted, a few hour delay, but it went back online. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please share my videos and follow me for more.
It's the dumbest that I ever heard. It makes me so mad beyond belief. We are starving. People are dying. People are in jail for marijuana charges. We're in a war that we should not be in the first place. And TikTok is our most pressing concern? I don't think so.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
People are now thinking that this is all just a big setup.
Since TikTok is getting banned tomorrow, I have a confession to make. So that one time I set up a GoFundMe because I told you guys that my son was sick and I needed you guys to donate. Well, turns out he was never actually sick. We just needed the money to go to Disneyland. Hey guys, I just wanted to come on here and address a video that I posted last night that was highly taken out of context. Since TikTok is getting banned tomorrow, I have a confession to make. So that one time
TikTok is back, thanks to the strongest, sexiest president ever. Your favorite app is back on your phone, thanks to the tannest president in history. Tanner than Barack Obama, some are saying.
It's January 20th at 11:39 a.m. EST, and here's what we expect from today. And let's talk about some rumors and get those out of the way. So because today's inauguration day, any president that comes in has a day one agenda, and it's just this giant list of things that they want to do. They sign it, and then a bunch of executive actions take place. We're hoping, and based on what Donald Trump has said that he will do, we're hoping one of those executive actions is this 90-day extension that would give him time to negotiate a deal with TikTok. Something interesting but not surprising happened as well. It was announced this morning on the Wall Street Journal that China said that they are open to a deal to keep TikTok in the United States. This is not surprising news considering that they are currently in the works of figuring out what that deal is. So it's just yep, there's a lot of rumors flying around about Elon buying it, Meta buying it, all of that speculation, all of that is rumor, that's all it is. Also, Meta is currently in trouble with the FTC, essentially accusing them of having a monopoly because they have bought Instagram and WhatsApp. So they're already at risk at selling those. Buying TikTok would really be a nail in that coffin. So I don't see that, they would get in a lot of trouble if they were to do that. I'll come back with more action items and updates on when the 90-day extension goes in and all that kind of stuff. But I'm also going to start this week bringing out my other regularly scheduled programming content. I'll keep you guys updated. That's not going to change as long as this is still a continuing saga.
Are y'all actually shocked to find out people don't like you guys? Are you guys actually surprised? Whoa, why were y'all so happy that we were gone? Or are we just joking? Is it a bit? Are we all is it an inside joke? Cause y'all cannot be serious, right?
TikTok is back online for US users, and here's everything that you need to know about it.
I don't usually make videos like this, but seeing as how this might be one of the last videos I ever post on this platform, I just wanted to say...
Lately, every time my phone tells me my network is unstable, I'm fair, but so am I.
Now that TikTok is ending, I have something to confess. The probiotic gummies that I was selling on my storefront, laced with arsenic. Personally, it wasn't even manufactured that way. I put it in for a little something extra. I know a lot of you know me as a mommy vlogger, but I did hire my children. They are child actors.
Here we go, guys. I figured it out. TikTok is now part of Meta. That's why every politician bought Meta, because they knew this was going to happen. I will show you. I'm going to leave a thing up here to show you that it went to Meta. I'm sure you got the notification too.
Is it just me? Or is it a little weird? TikTok gets banned for 12 hours. Trump suddenly tells everybody now it's going to be extended for 90 days. And within those 12 hours that TikTok is gone, there is one update, one very important update, and that's the thoughts. Now on your profile, you can leave thoughts. Where do they have that from? Meta, aka Facebook, aka Instagram. When you go on Instagram, you can put your thoughts there. So you're telling me in the 12 hours that TikTok was gone, their number one priority was to make that update, something's not adding up.
I know for a fact I'm not the only one who sees that TikTok is weird since it's been back. Like seriously, it does not feel like the same TikTok. It feels like something happened within that 12-hour span where there's been so many changes. My For You page does not feel like the For You page that I built. And I think that's led so many people to kind of speculate that Meta actually purchased TikTok, which is why for the 12 hours that they were offline, there was some kind of server change that happened. Let me know if y'all feel the same way. Because right now, if you go on Facebook, there's a link to where you can add your TikTok. That wasn't there before.
Meta bought TikTok. Because tell me why the fuck Facebook has a TikTok. Tell me why Instagram just changed their layout to the TikTok layout. And tell me why everyone on Facebook can now see that you can link your TikTok over to Facebook. They're going to have to get off of all Meta apps, and that includes business owners and content creators. Because guess what? We can't sell or content create or influence people who aren't even there. We're just going to be doing it to each other. B, create our own, and we're going to have to use our own people to do that. Or 3, we're going to have to stay on all the apps, but somehow work within and play with it at their own game. Coded talk like we already do, and still keep the momentum going on how we are in oppressed society. With Mr. Show going to the inauguration and having meetings with Trump, and Trump having meetings with China, Meta bought TikTok. Or the land of the corrupt.
So as far as Meta buying TikTok as an update, you can now add your TikTok to your Facebook account. And if you look at Instagram, they show in the same way that TikTok has with the long reels. So there's something fishy going on. So I think that they're just waiting to announce that he's bought it. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to wait till after Trump gets in office. Just my guess. So as far as Meta buying TikTok as an update, you can now add your TikTok to your Facebook account.
TikTok was bought by Meta.
Before I get back to my regular posting, I just want to talk about one thing, and that is the rumors that TikTok was bought by Meta, by Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Something that does not seem to be common knowledge on this app is that Shou Chu was an intern at Facebook right after he graduated from Harvard. Mark Zuckerberg tried to buy this app in 2016, back when it was Musical.ly, but lost out to ByteDance, and they made it into TikTok. Because Facebook, Meta, lost out, they decided to create their own competing app called Lasso, targeted at teens exclusively, because that's what Musical.ly was targeted toward. Lasso barely made it 2 years because no one can compete with the algorithm that TikTok has. Musical.ly was a dancing app, so I get why it was targeted to teens. But then once us adults, us elder millennials, took over this app, we made it our mouthpiece. With this looming ban, if you look back at the most viral videos in late 2019 and early 2020, they were all pretty much music-based still. But as COVID went on, as life went on, as we went through another election, this app completely evolved. And the big difference between Meta and TikTok was censorship. And if you think about it, during that time, so from 2019 through 2024, the biggest difference between Meta and TikTok was censorship. And yeah, we absolutely do get censored on this app, but not in the way that Meta did. Meta would not even allow conversations with their fact checkers. Which, by the way, if you recall, last week, Mark Zuckerberg was like, we're done with fact checkers on our app, and admitted to censoring conversations around COVID because the government told him he had to.
Wait a second. Did Meta buy TikTok?
You would see the money move. People would know, and it would have leaked. Nobody likes Facebook who works there, and so they would leak so that they got to be the one that leaked.
That's lucid. So I've been seeing so many TikTok videos of people being like, oh, TikTok 100% sold to Meta. And
the TikTok ban, did we get played?
What is this? What is actually going on?
Okay, what is this all about? Y'all can laugh all you want, and you can call people conspiracy theorists, but this is not one side playing a long game and the other side being too stupid to know that they were played. This is the U.S. government working together. They accuse China of stealing your data and spying on you with this app. They wanted control of this app because they want to be able to spy on you, steal your data, and track you on this app. And they are now.
So something very weird happened with TikTok, right? And I think we all can see it in our FYP. We can all see it everywhere, right? And, you know, I said this, I think like a couple of days ago where I said, hey, you know what? I'm seeing all these changes on Facebook, right? Where they're essentially implementing a lot of these changes, like link your TikTok, link your whatever, link your TikTok shop. And I'm like, me as a developer, as a programmer, nobody would waste their fucking time on doing something like that when TikTok is being banned the next day, you know, just to have it, you know, on their platform. So immediately, like 3 days ago, I was already like, Meta bought TikTok. And at this point, it's not coincidence, right? Where immediately something happened, your FYP is different, the algorithm's different, and now you actually have, you know, TikTok back, right? Where essentially Sunday probably just happened because they wanted to switch from TikTok servers to the Meta servers. And really, you know, immediately that was my thought process, because they're probably migrating in batches. They're not doing a full migration, right? It probably got migrating little by little by little by little. And that's really it. I really think that, you know, I'm like 99.999% sure that TikTok sold to Facebook. Not only that, the actual developers from TikTok, right? They were saying that how Meta was actually hiring a bunch of TikTok engineers and how there's going to be the biggest fucking monopoly in social media history. And if that's not a direct call of like Meta buying out TikTok, then really, I don't know what it is. So do whatever you want, think whatever you want. In my opinion, I already know that Meta 100% bought TikTok. So something.
Last night I was on my Facebook, and throughout the day yesterday, I noticed that it was trying to get me to link my TikTok to my Facebook, which...
All right, guys, let's talk about it.
All right, let's dive into this wild rumor. TikTok sold Meta.
I have been seeing this notice, and I honestly didn't.
So rumor has it that we're on Meta servers now, and that...
Yo, I know I don't post much on here, but to be honest, this might be the last one.
Currently, as it stands, Meta is gearing up to take over TikTok.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me for a quick update. I just wanted everybody to check their Facebook profiles and just see if they have a little bubble at the top. Right now, there's just some confusion about if TikTok was possibly bought by Facebook.
So we're not going to talk about how we can't go live on Facebook or Instagram either?
Facebook will buy TikTok. Facebook bought TikTok. Meta is buying TikTok. TikTok is owned by Meta. Facebook owns TikTok. Facebook will buy TikTok.
Well, isn't this quite the plot twist?
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Can't be true, right? Like, it can't be true. That would be the ultimate punk. The ultimate, we got punked. There's no way, right? No way.
Do you understand? If someone in the US has to buy it, there's only a very few corporations who could actually man this large, huge thing that is TikTok. And the biggest thing that makes TikTok what it is the algorithm.
Breaking news. Elon Musk is buying TikTok and you didn't know. A shocking revelation could change the internet forever. Elon Musk, the billionaire behind Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink, is reportedly negotiating the purchase of TikTok. With billions of users worldwide, TikTok could soon fall under Musk's control, and his plans for the platform are far more ambitious than anyone could imagine. Leaked documents suggest that Musk intends to integrate TikTok with Starlink's satellite network.
I am buying TikTok. Yes, you heard that.
I mean, at this point, what the fuck is going on? Chinese officials are considering selling TikTok to Elon Musk. At this point, what the fuck can this man not do? He owns...
If Elon buys this app, I would rather it be banned.
So I'm obviously very on the left side of things, but I have a...
I mean, if you make a small size cup, if you happen to play it. Yeah. It looks great.
Many have also said that TikTok is too expensive to buy. What is your take on this, and how much are you and Frank McCourt willing to put down for this?
Frank and I think this is going to go for around 20 billion, but we don't yet know. We haven't seen the data room. There is no data room. The company is not yet for sale. That's a decision they have to make after the justices render their decision. The key here is everybody can win in this situation. What we need done, and let me give you the timing of it. It's very unique. Let's assume Tuesday they render a decision. It goes back to the executive. The executive is currently President Biden. Biden then will put up his hand and say, is there any legitimate buyer? And here we are with a legitimate offer already given to the company. Every shareholder has our offer now. They know exactly what it is. And that gives him the right, inside Congress's order, to extend the period for 90 days. That's what we seek.
Let's share conspiracy theories about why TikTok was banned for only 14 hours. I'll go first. My theory is that the American government had a plan set in place for so long. They were like, look, on January 19th, we're going to ban the app. We're going to show ByteDance and all of the owners of TikTok how valuable the American market is. That's 170 million users just gone overnight, not consuming content, not engaging, not buying stuff from TikTok Shop. And once they did that, ByteDance was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, this is not good for our app. This is devastating. And so the US government swoops in. They send Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg makes an account on TikTok. This actually happened. He made an account on TikTok. And then now you can directly link your TikTok onto your Facebook. So this was a planned thing. They're like, look, we're going to show them, right, what this is like. And then we're going to link our own app and make them make a deal with us. So now we're kind of in a weird period where the algorithm is strange. Things are changing. You know why? It's because now they're ready to make a deal because they see the impact of this app minus 170 million consumers. I think I'm right. What's your guys' theories? Let's share conspiracy theories about why TikTok was banned for only 14 hours.
Conspiracy theorist all you want, but there's no way that they're doing all this back and forth with TikTok right before the inauguration. I feel like every time something happens like this, they're just trying to distract us from something else. And you don't have to believe me, but like if you look at the trends, and TikTok is the only free speech app that we have. Meta can't really control it like they can obviously with Facebook and Instagram. Hence 2020, all the things happening in 2020, 2021, whatever, the past few years. So I'm like, well, no wonder they don't want us to have this app. Also, for the people that are saying like, China's gonna have your information. If you have any social account, Google account, whatever, other countries have your information. It's not just TikTok. I feel like I have whiplash with all this back and forth. For instance, I don't know if I can even say that on here. Really wanted to do something about that and ban that, they would, but they don't want to because it's $1 billion industry. So I'm just saying, if they wanted to, they would, and they don't want to. So, okay, happy TikToking, we're back.
Wild theory that the Supreme Court is banning TikTok, and when becomes president, he is going to like tell his little minions within the Supreme Court to be like, bring it back and make me look amazing, like make me look like a hero, like, because he appointed so many of the people on the Supreme Court, right? So like if he has so much power, it's disgusting. I just feel like, I know it's a conspiracy theory, but like it's a plausible one. So I don't think this is the end of TikTok also, so like don't cry and be so sad. I have this wild theory that the Supreme Court is banning TikTok, and when becomes president, he is going to like tell his little minions within the Supreme Court to be like, bring it back and make me look amazing, like make me look like a hero, like, because he appointed so many of the people on the Supreme Court, right? So like if he has so much power, it's disgusting. I just feel like, I know it's a conspiracy theory, but like it's a plausible one. So I don't think this is the end of TikTok also, so like don't cry and be so sad.
I'm just gonna pick a side right now. I am not on the team that thinks Meta bought TikTok. I'm also not on the team that wants this other weird Project Liberty to be part of the TikTok purchase. But I know there's some weird stuff going on that seems like it's, you know, the same stuff is happening over at Meta. I just don't think they would be that obvious when it comes to transitioning. I think it would be a clean transition. And also, the finalization has not been made. So why would they share intellectual property if it hasn't been a done deal yet? I did see something recently about Meta having open AI and inviting TikTok to come and share their AI, and how Meta might have the open AI and allowing TikTok to share their AI so Meta can learn about TikTok's algorithm, and TikTok is trying to mess with Meta's algorithm. So that seems more true to me than Meta purchasing TikTok, at least allowing apps to be blended together before any kind of finalization has been made. So I'm not on team Meta already bought TikTok, and I'm not on team Project Liberty, who wants to buy TikTok. And I don't even think I'm not on board with the United States government owning any kind of share of TikTok. What are your thoughts?
So here's my conspiracy theory. All of us Commonwealth people and the rest of the world noticed how peaceful and quiet TikTok was for 12 hours without the Americans. And it really hammered it home when they came back on, and all of a sudden it was angry again. It was political again. It's not just people having a laugh or sharing something. It's always about politics and selling something. And since all the Americans had run over to the Chinese app, and they are not about that lifestyle there. They are like, keep this shit light and happy and only tell us the good things. We don't want to hear your politics. We don't want to hear your bullshit. We don't want to hear your loud, angry voices. And since they were just absolutely flooded by the new people, I reckon they went and they were like, you know what? Let's do whatever we need to do to get them back to their own app. Because it was nice for 12 hours. And I can imagine they had a nice app for years until they got inundated with refugees and they're like, get these people the fuck out. Do whatever we need to do. Make a deal with Trump. I don't care. Just send them home.
All corporations are actually just one giant mega corporation.
Great news. Elon Musk is reportedly in talks to buy TikTok in the US, which means we Americans could have our entire social media experience controlled by two men. The ones who want to cage fight each other and have a literal dick measuring contest. And in case you forgot, every time you use their platforms, they get richer. And worst of all, these guys become more and more powerful. Just ask President-elect Musk. Are you actually okay with that? Because I'm not. So I decided to do something about it. I invented Popping. It's an algorithm-free social media platform. No filters, no ads, no billionaire a-holes in charge. Just sharing real life on your terms.
TikTok. I want Project Liberty to own TikTok.
You want to own TikTok.
I want Project Liberty to own TikTok.
You want to own TikTok.
I want Project Liberty to own TikTok.
If the government bans TikTok, I'm not going to pay my taxes.
And listen, my friend, if the IRS comes after you, send them to the TikTok attorney. Just be like, call the TikTok attorney. He's going.
Meta bought TikTok. Okay. Do you guys remember last week how we're all making videos because Meta's stock just dropping?
Victor, this is just breaking right now. Bloomberg is reporting that Chinese officials are evaluating a potential sale of TikTok's U.S. ops to Elon Musk.
I do believe that banning a social media app like TikTok is a violation of the First Amendment. I haven't had a chance to read the ruling yet, but very disappointed. 170 million Americans express themselves on TikTok on a daily basis, and it's just wrong for the government to ban it. Most of the reasons the government banned it were based on accusations, not proof. I've never been tried and found guilty of sharing information with a communist government or any of that. They've actually offered, through our Foreign Investment Committee that oversees foreign investments, they've offered to have the data here. They've offered to work with Oracle to house the data in the United States. They've offered to have an American board. In fact, it's misreported that it's a Chinese company to begin with. It's owned, 60% of the company is owned by international investors. But disappointing. I don't think the battle's over yet, though. I'm hopeful that President Trump, in coming in, can have some ability. It sounds like Biden left the door open, perhaps, for some executive action from President Trump, and I hope that's what will happen.
TikTok is back. You know, I did a little TikTok thing. We have a guy, TikTok Jack. He's a young kid, like 21 years old, and we hired this guy, and I went on TikTok. Can you believe what I'll do to win an election? We won the youth vote by 36 points. So I like TikTok. I like it. I had a slightly good experience, wouldn't you say?
Over 100,000 signatures to demand the resignation of Senator Tom Cotton, and this is just the beginning. I swear I am on some watch lists after this last week. So what happens now? If you get over 100,000 signatures in 30 days, you get an official response from the White House within 60 days, and they will email all of you their response as well. Mr. Cotton here was also notified of my petition. And whether or not he resigns or nothing comes out of this, this shows him that the people are upset. He will be up for election, I believe, in 2026. People need to remember the anger you feel now. Don't let it go. Even if TikTok is saved, you don't let go of that anger and you use it when you go vote. Mr. Shou was at the inauguration today, and I just heard a few minutes ago, breaking news, that China will work out some sort of deal with us. So we very well may keep TikTok, and I personally think it's going to be the same app that it is now, even though people are trying to fearmonger that it won't be. So even if TikTok is saved, I am begging you guys to use your voice, to make petitions. Even if the petition doesn't change anything, it shows people's voices. Protest. Don't be quiet. Don't just sit down and take it, because even if it's fixed, they started this. We deserve the right to free speech. This isn't just about an app. They were okay with leaving Temu, AliExpress, and Shein on these apps that collect just as much data, but they're shopping apps, they're not communication apps. That alone should say everything that you need to hear. I seriously would have given anything to be a fly on the wall when TikTok servers came back on to see Tom Cotton's reaction. Like, I would have paid to see it. So thank you so much for signing this petition. Thank you for standing with me when I posted that. I was nervous that it would get like 10 signatures, but you guys showed up. Our voices matter. The government is only full of so many people. There's millions of us, not even just on TikTok, but in the United States. What we feel matters, and when your representatives are not representing the majority of voices, they need to go. This whole situation has truly enlightened so many people. So many young people who didn't care anything about the government processes are now researching it, looking into it, trying to figure out what they can do. The government has woken us up, the ones of us that were not already awoken. This right here, this is all just the beginning of making a change.
Everyone keeps saying that Trump is going to save TikTok. Does he have the power to do anything to save TikTok?
Okay, so yeah, well, it's not that.
Because it's a law.
It's not that simple. This is. I don't think it's going away. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I don't think how it's operating right now, like you're going to upload this video. I don't think this whole thing of TikTok is going to go away anytime soon. Okay. My personal opinion is everyone, it's like Y2K. Everyone's going to wake up on Sunday and nothing happened. Here's why, right? Looks like it's no longer politically expedient, at least for the Democratic side, of our government, to ban it. Because Biden today's event, is the last business day of his administration. He could have done an enforcement action with Merrick Garland and the AG, because the Supreme Court this morning said ban sticks, right? You could enforce it. Mm-hmm. The Justice Department needs to have an enforcement action. Like, how are you going to enforce it, right?
Right.
He didn't. He basically said, hey, Trump, it's your problem now. And look at Trump. What's Trump's position on this? Right? He doesn't want it to go away. He's lobbied for it not to go away. Now, then you get the technicalities of it's a law. How can he stop it? Is it, first thing, like they say, like he could choose when his Justice Department gets in, when Pam Bondi gets confirmed, he's his AG. He could tell the AG, like, hey, don't enforce it. All sorts of narratives and commentary out there is like, oh, you can't just ignore a law. But it's Trump, man. It's Trump. Does whatever he wants. It wouldn't be the first time he's done something, out of whack against norms, right? So even then, to me, my opinion, even then, even if he doesn't do something drastic like that, right? He talked to Xi Jinping today about everything. He came out and said it. I talked to the dude about fentanyl, about TikTok and everything. That's one. So he's trying to work something out, right? There's got to be some bartering, some leverage that he has, because they are afraid of the tariffs. There's no question. So he's got a bargaining position. So he could work something out that way, or he could definitely. He will. I think he definitely will have a 90-day extension, because the spirit of the law says if there's some bona fide movement progression on divestiture, right, you can extend it. And there's an easy case to make. You know, you got several, you got like Kevin O'Leary and Frank McCourt already have an offer on the table. You got other groups trying to make an offer. So there is progression on divestiture. On the right? There is progression. There's people making offers now.
And that's
right?
all that we need is a bona fide offer.
Right. And then also, going back to the whole thing with Trump, the CEO of TikTok's going to be at his inauguration. Is that dude going to sit there in his inauguration and then he shut it down the day before? Inauguration's on Monday. No, there's no effing way. I don't see it. Right? To me, logically, so what's he going to do when he gets in office? Right? He's going to extend it, and then after that, what happens? Right? You extend
No
it.
enforcement plan?
No, maybe he brokers a deal, because apparently there is a big part of the government of our politics right now on the left, Democrats per se. It looks like they're kind of backpedaling right now. They don't want to support it. They've made they made kind of like a statement like, we don't want to be the party that kills TikTok. So, if you look back and when they approved the law from a national security standpoint, you would think that at the time, and I'm reaching here, but like maybe it was politically expedient to support anything anti-China. But now, fast forward, all of a sudden, these politicians look at their constituents. A lot of their constituents are going to be affected negatively.
Yeah.
So the sentiment is negative. So all of a sudden you go from, I hate China is threatening our national security. They're all China hawks at the time. Let's ban this thing. You get fast forward now, 270 days later or whatever, right? Their constituents are like, we're going to get hurt. They're against it. So you got national security or politics, right? So the sentiment's changed, I think. So when he gets in office, maybe he can broker a deal to amend the law. Maybe he can, have them repeal it. I don't know. It's Trump, right? And he's already had friendly conversations with Xi Jinping about it. He openly said so, right? So the point being is, I just don't see it going away. Like I said before, also there's billions of dollars in revenue over there. Money finds a way in the US. Always.
Okay.
I literally just took my rollers out so I could talk to you guys about this, but I just want to say I called it. I literally called it. I said this in my last video. I knew Trump was going to do this. First and foremost, everybody's like texting me like, oh my God, TikTok's back. Aren't you so happy? As a creator, I'm petrified. I am so scared. Like, I am literally shook to the core because I don't think you guys really understand what just happened. Basically, what the government did, said that they were going to take away our rights, our freedom of speech. They're going to take away what literally is in the Constitution that we all have in America. And we're going to take it away because we can. Just for a couple of hours, just for less than 24 hours, we're going to take it away. And you know what? Since we checked y'all, we're going to give it back because we just wanted to show y'all the power that we indeed have in this country. Number 2, somebody sold out. I don't know what the agreement was, but just know everybody's in cahoots. Trump, CEO of TikTok, Mark Z, all of the tech billionaires, all the billionaires, the government, all 3 branches, they're in cahoots. It is no longer about Democratic versus Republic. It's about the rich versus everybody else. And the funniest part about this all, Trump literally started this in 2020. Like, let's not forget who started the TikTok ban. And then I literally called it and said, this is so core June Gemini narcissistic of him to come in less than 24 hours of his inauguration and save the TikTok so he could want all of us to give him praise. It's so core Gemini narcissistic of him to do. When he literally started the problem, which is literally the pattern of Trump. Like, I don't know how y'all don't get it in y'all Peabody brains to see the truth of this man. So yes, if he saved the TikTok, everybody's going to be like, oh, are you happy? Are you going to be? I'm not going to support that man no matter what. They could take it. I'm not going to support that man. I'm sorry. I'm just, the way my morals are set up, I can't do it. It's not enough money, enough followers, a bigger platform in the world for me to sit there and say, thank you so much, President so-and-so, for doing this when you started the problem. This is literally textbook narcissism. I don't understand. So yes, the app is going to be back. Yes, content creators are going to still be posting. I literally said, if this app comes back, which I had a really good feeling that it was because this was the plot from the beginning, I'm running the bag up because you know what? It's really every man out here for themselves. And what the government did was a power play. It was never about security. It was never about the safety of Americans. It was about meta and money. And that was it. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. However, I just wanted to come in and check in with y'all. Please, let's talk in the comments what you think.
So now we know why America didn't want us to see what was going on in China. And if you don't know, head on over to Xiaohongshu and check out those grocery hauls. Rednote. Go to Rednote and check out their grocery hauls. And if that's not a slap in the face for you, look at how much they spend on healthcare. Look at how much they spend on rent. We looking like a big joke in America. And if you want to get technical, somebody that just started using Rednote from America asked one of the Chinese people to tell them a joke. And you know what they said? Americans think that they're free, and we're really not. That hurt on every type of level that can hurt on. Are you serious? It makes sense now why they want to ban apps, why they don't want us knowing certain things. Look how these people are living over there, and then look at us. And not saying that that place is better than over here, because I wouldn't say so. But what I'm saying is, look how we have to go so hard over here. Minimum wage is how much? $7.25. Who can live on minimum wage in the United States? I'll wait. We don't own no land in the United States. Shit, we don't own anything in the United States. Scrolling through, seeing another video. This guy said he is spending $80 a month for rent. 80 United States dollars a month for rent. Oh, man. Yeah, this shit is way bigger than a TikTok ban. Way bigger. America, you got some explaining to do.
I saw a post on the Rednote app that said, I'm American, ask me anything. So they started asking us about our healthcare system, having insurance, how much money we have to pay for like medical bills and whatever. And after long conversation of going back and forth with the Chinese people on the app, we explained to them that sometimes having high medical debt coupled with like other debts can lead people to being homeless. And they did not understand why. And so we had to explain to them how things affect your credit and what collections companies are. Tell me why. They didn't understand what a collections company was, first off. Like, I guess that's not a thing in China. But when one of the Chinese guys who was like responding to our comments was asking about collections companies, the only words that he could understand it as in China, when we had to translate his comments from Chinese or Mandarin to English, he was calling collection companies robbers and gangsters. That's the only thing that he could think to just, oh my God.
You know what I'm seeing today? I'm seeing a lot of Chinese people in tears on this app and other apps. Why? Because the Chinese government has announced that they are going to separate the foreign IP addresses of Rednote users from Chinese Rednote users. Which means that Chinese people outside of China who have been using Rednote for a while to keep in touch with their friends, family, and culture no longer have access to that. They no longer have access to their homeland and the things that are important to them because a bunch of Americans wanted to make a really weird statement without thinking of the consequences, without understanding how that government works and what potential consequences could be to the people that rely on that app to connect. But hey, America, as long as you get what you want, right? That's what we do. Who cares if the people who are growing and picking our food in Central America are also dying of starvation? We get cheap blueberries. Who cares if Chinese people outside of China can no longer connect with their friends and family and culture? We stuck it to the US government, and now TikTok is going to keep going. As the child of an immigrant, I know what it's like when someone cannot get in touch with their friends and family in their homeland because of politics. I saw my father in tears because he couldn't get in touch with his family sometimes when the communists ruled Ethiopia.
Stay on Rednote, TikTok friends. I know the TikTok ban has been lifted, but you should stay. And here's why. Firstly, who knows what Mr. Trump is going to do after the extension? If history's told us anything, it's that things can change overnight. And having a backup option is always smart. Secondly, this is a totally different platform offering different content experience. I think you already know that by now. A lot of my new followers are telling me they love the useful tips, the recipes, the Chinese artistic content. It's like a totally new world. Thirdly, you won't find us on TikTok. So if you leave this platform, you leave us. We are not on TikTok. We use a different version of TikTok called Douyin, and they are independent of each other. So if you have a business, this is a blue ocean opportunity, a fresh, untapped market waiting for pioneers like you.
Last week, he's a weirdo, Mark Zuckerberg came to the White House, kissed my ass. Kissed my ass. Sure, I'd love to have dinner. Sure, I'd love to have dinner. I'd love to bring my lovely wife. All right, Mark, come on in. Sir, you're #1 on Facebook. I'd like to congratulate you. Oh, thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it. Weirdo Mark Zuckerberg confessed that in 2020, the FBI went to Facebook and the media and gave them the false narrative that the Hunter Biden laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, even though they knew that was not true.
So pay attention, TikTok refugees. Here's some things you need to know about this app if you're gonna stay for like 2 or 3 days or like a month or something. First, yes, we can be fam in the club. Nobody's trying to start a war here, even though you show up in my living room without any invitation. But Chinese people still welcome all of you. Why? Because we're just that great, okay? There's a saying in Chinese, in ancient Chinese, 有朋自远方来，不亦乐乎. I'm not gonna translate that for you. Why? Because it's finally your time to learn something Chinese. Second, as you can see, all the content on this app is very high quality. People put a lot of effort in their content. So if you're gonna post here and if you want likes, if you even care about that, please add some subtitles. That's the bare minimum standard for your videos, for your content. And since you're in the Chinese community, please put some Chinese subtitles to it. There's some app that can help you. A lot of Chinese people can understand your no subtitle pure English video is because we're smart. Okay, we started to learn English at a very young age, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't add Chinese subtitles to your video if you're gonna post in the Chinese community. This is not me saying it's not okay to post English videos, okay? A lot of people do, I do, but the point is, this is a Chinese-based community. You need to add Chinese subtitles to your video, show some respect, and also you can help other people learn English. Isn't that great? All these years, you called orange chicken and broccoli beef Chinese food. You think Chinese people give each other a lucky cookie after they go out to eat? No, we don't do that. After you call 火锅 hot pot, 筷子 chopsticks, 饺子 dumplings, 小红书 Rednote, after all that, it's still fine. Just add Chinese subtitles to your videos. Also, one more thing. This person, whatever you were trying to say, trust me, 为难我 is not the right term, okay? Delete that translation app. Delete that shit right now. I'm not gonna 为难你. And I believe you don't want me to 为难you. Okay?
I deleted the Rednote app, and here's why I think you should too. So I just came across a video of a Chinese American woman who seemed pretty upset, heartbroken. And she was explaining how the Rednote app had just announced to its Chinese users that they were going to be offering the option to filter out foreign IP addresses and putting the foreign IPs on a separate server altogether. What that means for Chinese Americans that are trying to connect with their content, the language, the culture, all of it, it means that they won't be able to anymore because we wanted to say fuck you to our government. So I've deleted the app because I think that that's incredibly unfair. And I feel awful. And obviously seeing somebody cry about it makes me feel even worse. So yeah, I've deleted the app and I think that everybody else should too. And let whatever's going to happen, happen. They're talking about a 270-day extension anyways. They do not want to ban the app. They want to buy the app. But we don't need to destroy an app
for other people just to make a point, you know?
Rednote or 小红书 just released an update in the Greater China region with a function to separate out foreign IPs, and there are now talks of moving all foreign IPs to a separate server and having a different IP for those who are in the Greater China area. I know through VPNs and other ways people are still able to access the app, but essentially this is going to kill the app for Chinese Americans who actually uses the app to connect with the Chinese content, Chinese language, Chinese culture. Is a way for me to feel, I don't know, all of this just because we wanted to say fuck you to the US government. I get it, but I just wish it wasn't at the cost of others. That's all I have to say about that.
Since this TikToker refugee situation, few things that you guys have told us did really shocked me. One, it's about the jobs. So people told me that in America, it's so common that you work 2 or 3 jobs to survive. I mean, not for a decent, good quality life, but to survive. Second, it's about the property tax. I mean, I'm not even sure if I remember the name correct or not. So basically, it's after you buy a apartment, after you paid it off, you will still have to pay tax or whatever fee like every year. And if you unfortunately lost your job or you got sick, you cannot keep paying it, you're gonna lose your apartment. I mean, then what's the meaning of buying? Third, this is probably a extreme example. There was one American shared on Rednote about once he has caught an ambulance and he paid $3,000 for the ambulance car. I mean, you know what? A return flight from American to China is about $1,500. 3,000 for ambulance? Fourth is about the colleague fee. There was one viewer in my live stream and he said he's been graduated like 17 years from his colleague and he is still paying the money back. I mean, I don't know what's the name of this fee, but he's still paying it back. 17 years. Let's say you graduated when you were like 23 years old. In 17 years you're like 40. That's more or less like half of your life. I'm really not sure, are those like common or just a few extreme examples?
你好, it's your Chinese spy. I hope you have enjoyed the content I have hand-selected for you over the years, but in case we don't get to see each other on here again, here are some tips and tricks to using Rednote. First thing to keep in mind is that this flood of Westerners is not something the app is designed to handle. You need to verify your phone number with them before you can do anything except just scroll. And it might take you a few tries to get a verification code, but it will come, just keep trying. There's no need to do weird stuff like, oh, let me turn off my Wi-Fi, or like, go into like this setting, this specific setting. No, just keep trying. Just keep hitting that button. If you find that your interface is in Chinese, go to the bottom right tab. That opens up your profile, and then hit the gear button beneath your bio to open up settings. And then the second tab with the gear icon again is general settings. And then once you open that, the first option is the one to switch languages. You can change your display name and bio by tapping on the profile button beneath your bio. But remember, you can only change your display name once per week and your bio 3 times per week. You can also change your ID from a string of numbers to something more unique, but I think you can only do this once ever. When you're writing the description for a post, you can hit this button to expand the text field so that it's not blocked off by all the suggested tags. And the tags are case sensitive, by the way. So there's a difference between TikTok and TikTok. You can use a maximum of 10 tags per post. Rednote does not currently have in-app translation functions, but you can download a separate on-screen translator app like Bubble Screen Translate. Once you activate it, it gives you a floating widget, and then every time you tap it, it can translate everything on your screen while you stay in Rednote. So this would make your life a lot easier. Like, there is no need to like screenshot every single comment and then run to Google Translate. Chinese has a lot of colloquialisms though, and then even if with the translation, sometimes you're not going to understand stuff without context. For example, we like to call foreigners 外国人, which literally translates to crooked fruit nut. And it's a playful spin on the way foreigners pronounce 外国人, which is the actual term for foreigners. So if you see yourself getting called a nut, you're getting called a foreigner. Another example is that the default display name on Rednote is Little Sweet Potato. This is because Little Sweet Potato is a homonym for Little Red Book, which is the actual Chinese name of Rednote. A lot of times people will just straight up use the sweet potato emoji to indicate the app. And speaking of emojis, the dog emoji is something really important because it's a tone indicator for sarcasm or something that's said in a joking way. If you interact with Chinese locals, you're probably going to get called by a familial term like sister, brother, uncle, aunt. It's just the way Chinese culture is. And those using uncle or aunt are probably elementary to middle school age children. So remember that there are a lot of minors on that site, so like keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that being non-binary is like not a generally accepted concept in China. So the app will force you to pick a gender between male and female, but you don't have to take the option to display it on your profile. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff to do with queer did get bundled up with anti-Western sentiment in the general Chinese consciousness. So you might see people making jokes like, oh, I can't believe the US has 72 genders. Like, that's very annoying, but you have to remember that ultimately China is still a fairly socially conservative country. There are vibrant queer communities on Rednote, but I'm hesitant to let you guys know how to find them because too many Westerners flooding their tags might make trouble for them. I think it's best for you guys to not disturb that ecosystem when they have worked so hard to carve out spaces for themselves. So I don't suggest going around asking provocative questions like, oh, how do you feel about gay people? And definitely don't start lecturing the locals if you see them say something you don't like. It will only have the opposite effect. Like, global South countries hate it when global North countries start lecturing them. Leave the discourse to the locals. Remember that you are a guest on this app. Anyway, that's it for now. If you have more questions, feel free to ask me. I'm fully bilingual. Rednote lets you include pictures in the comments, so if you see anything that confuses you, just screenshot and ask me there.
In the club, we all fam, but I just want everyone to just hold on for a second. I know we've all migrated over there. I made an account. I have not posted yet because I wanted to read the terms and condition. Although they were in Mandarin, my assistant translated it for me. So there are a few differences from TikTok to this app that I feel that we need to be aware of. Some of the key differences, they have an irrevocable license. That means that even if you delete your content or leave the platform, they retain the rights to our content indefinitely. Number 2, they can sublicense our content to third parties. So our content could be used by advertisers, international partners, or other entities that we have no control over. Number 2. Number 3, they reserve the right to use personal elements like image, trademarks, and logos. Similar to TikTok, frame it more around content distribution rather than using personal branding for advertisements. So their personal branding, inclusion of branding elements like logos could be a concern for creators posting branded or professional content. Number 4, this is a big one, I think, for me. They can modify, remix, or adapt our content and create derivative works. Opens up a door for content to appear in unexpected forms in places like advertisements or altered versions. TikTok also permits adaptations, but theirs is a little broader with the word derivatives. The 5th thing is that commercial use without compensation clearly states that content can be used for promotional or commercial purposes without compensation, included in marketing campaigns to promote the platform or any other projects. Difference being that they Rednote can use it for indefinite commercial use. That word indefinite again. So if you have any original works, any original artwork, photography, anything that can be trademarked, I would maybe do a little bit more research before posting that on this app.
Being one of the people that went over to Rednote, downloaded the app, and joined that community, I want to talk from the heart and my experience, because I feel like it was a eye-opening experience for me, and it was fascinating just listening to Chinese people share their stories, but also be so inquisitive and caring about the American people. And one thing that really struck me was how authentic and transparent they are with their feelings. Even in their little snarky or sarcastic sense of humor, there is a warmth about them that makes them seem approachable, community-centered, caring, authentic, and all those things. It just made me think about the differences between Americans and Chinese. Especially, I ran across a young lady's page today and what she was asking, but I'll talk about that in a minute. The thing that struck me is I feel like they were just unabashedly unashamed. Like there was no fear in being mimicked, in being made fun of, or anything like that. They openly shared everything about their life with compassion, with care about their life, and care how they communicated it to us about their life. Like there was something. It was something, and most Americans we've all said, like, they're very warm, they're very friendly, they're so patient, they're so caring. They've just welcomed us they've welcomed us with open arms. And as obviously it's been, we've all felt whatever that is that they have something that's very caring. And I started thinking about Americans and how we share information, and I feel like we share information very transactional, very informative, very practical, and it seems like the Chinese people layer everything with emotion, with empathy, with a genuine desire to connect. And they were genuinely trying to connect with us. Even today, a lot of the posts are, okay, we see TikTok is not banned anymore. So we know you're leaving. We want to know that we loved you being here. It's going to be different without you here. We enjoyed you being here, but we understand that some of you might not come back.
Hey, it's Straight Out of Context. Don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and share.